Yo, YouTube, we back at it, man. What's good? What's good with everybody? It's not a Monday. I know I was getting on a little run for a second and I was doing my little books in bed on a Monday, but dropped that yesterday for y'all. Go tap in. Make sure y'all like, follow, and subscribe. I just got done reading this book with my babies. This book right here. It's a great one, y'all. Told you I still haven't decided what the next Books for Better Living is going to be. I have not forgot. Trust me. I'm trying to drop as much as I can, much useful information as possible. But yeah, man. I hope everybody enjoyed their Tuesday. I hope everybody enjoyed their Monday. I'm getting this Palo Santo lit. I know I got to get the Palo Santo right. I was talking to my daughter earlier and I was like, Mommy, you're going to have to be in a video soon. Maybe I can get enough books in the bed, but I gotta make sure she feeling good about being presentable how she want. You know how girls are, which I totally understand. Shoot, even the guys, we gotta feel presentable too. So it's all good. I just want her to be in one of the videos. My son been in them. Y'all seen my little boy, so see my daughter. Both of them repping the set. But yeah, y'all. Oh, this thing smoky. I just started lit a new one. I think it's mad smoky. But y'all know what it is. We're back at it. We're going to get through this book together. You heard? We're going to get through this book together for real, for real. Oh, this one's really smoky. Let me put that over here real quick. Get the vibes, cleansing. But, yeah, how everybody been, man? Like, I was going to go live, but I didn't go live, so I think I just forgot, to be honest. Yeah, I did. No, what it is, I didn't forget. I didn't even decide if I was gonna go live or not. I was talking about it with my little boy, and he was saying, he's like, Papi, you think you're gonna go live with it? I was like, I don't know. So I guess I never decided. I was so excited to read this book with him. This is one of them ones, y'all. We still moving up the But yes, this is one of them ones. But we're gonna get to that when we get to it. But today we're doing what I love so much, a book that has changed my life. If y'all haven't heard, go check out episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. I think we actually on 6. We almost through this thing. Episode 5 through 1 through 5. And see how life-changing this book is. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, we're on the gold lender of Babylon. Let me get to that right now. We can get this thing going. But I wanted to ask y'all something real quick, man. I really want to ask y'all something. One thing I realized, and I'm gonna ask y'all what I want to ask y'all. I forget it, but I want to say this first. One thing I realized is that there is literally nothing that can make someone change almost besides death. That's like the closest thing, because we are designed to survive, and our bodies was designed to actually keep us alive for it infinitely, to be honest. We're very fragile human beings, but our spirits are housed in this flesh. Our spirits are in these carbon, vehicles that we're in, and our spirits are infinite. Our energy is infinite. So we were essentially designed to have the body follow the spirit, but since man has fallen from our heights of enlightenment, we do the opposite of that, and our flesh leads the spirit, unfortunately. But our spirit longs to live a life full of love and growth and evolution and boundless energy, because that's where we come from. So the one thing that is a catalyst for us is us being close to death, life and death situations. And the other thing that motivates someone when they are fully aware of what I'm saying as in death is the opposite of that, life. So we're so weird, because those two extremes can make people make drastic changes in their life. Like, so getting close to death and then having the will to want to live, it will make people change so much. So it's like you're on the edge of death and you want to survive. So you do the opposite of that and do everything that it takes to live. And that's why I said almost, because there's some people who still didn't change. The doctor told them, hey, you're going to stop smoking, you're going to stop drinking. If you don't do this, you're gonna die. They did it. Love my grandma to death. I love her so much. But she was one of them. She smoked cigarettes, and along with other things, it aided in killing her. And I think that was because her spirit was tormented, and her spirit was not strong enough to fight her body, and the spirit was not strong enough to lead the body, and the body was leading the spirit, like I said. But those two extremes are the only thing that could potentially make people make drastic changes. And why I said that, and that relates to books and relates to what I'm about to say now, is that even if someone told you, do this and you will get this, read this book and this book will give you $100,000. But the way to get the $100,000 is you have to read the book front to back, and then you have to read the book and do what the book says. And whenever you're feeling like you're not doing what the book says, you have to read the book again, and you have to keep reading, and you have to keep reading. And then the $100,000, nowhere near each other. The $100,000 is yours. Even that statement alone will not change people. Let's just say this is somebody who's been broke and impoverished their whole life. A sample won't change them. You say, you know what? I'm going to give you this deal that if you can do what I just said, all of the things that I just mentioned, read the book. When you're starting to feel like you're not doing what the book says, read the book again, and then eventually you will have the $100,000. But just to give you a little teaser, I'll give you $10,000 as a start. That person would not even probably take the $10,000 and do something with it. They'll probably blow it and then try to come back and get the $100,000 and then lose it and not even get the $100,000, because it was never in them anyway, because there was nothing in them to change drastically besides the two things that I mentioned earlier. And that's potentially life and the will to want to live, because how close you are to dying. So if we cannot let those things motivate us, or if they do have to motivate you, hopefully you don't have to feel like you're on your deathbed to want to change, and hopefully feel like you're not being about to die for you to want to really embrace the gift of life to want to change. But hopefully you can take the advice that people tell you and you treat that like death. Like, wow, if I don't do this, I die. Do or die. You know, if I'm so close to getting to a point in my life to where I feel like I'm not living the life that I want and it feels like fucking death, I need to do this. Do this, y'all. There's so many books that are $100,000 books, $1 million books. I'm practicing on writing $1 million books, and I think I have $1 million book. I know I have $1 million book in me. I haven't published it yet. I have several books that I've written and have not published. So far, I have 2 published. I will start promoting those more on here, y'all. Next video, I promise you, y'all hold me to it. Next video, I will push one of my books. I'm waiting for the other one to get shipped out and sent. I will promote both of them. But there are $100,000 books, $500,000 books, $1 million books. And I can tell you about the $100,000 books because I know I've read these books, and I went from somebody who was worried about an hourly wage to somebody who already knew about how time and money are related and how you shouldn't trade your time for money, but still was in the level of what Myron Golden calls implementation, to where you trade your time for money and your resources and you use your body to make money. And I was in the $20 range. Then I got to the $30 hours range, and I got to the $40 hours range, and I got to the $50 hour range, and have seen $10,000 checks consistently. So I can speak about $100,000 and making 100,000 plus 100,000 and saving tens and thousands of dollars, and saying that it's strictly because of the, not even the life and death energy that I had with wanting to like really read and believe the clues that the successful left behind, because that's all this is. And let's just, I can speak for my culture. I can speak for my people. You know, I am a black man in America. I don't have to talk about other races that I have within me. People look at me, they would think I'm 100% black. So I would speak for black people. We came from a part in this country, in a time in this country where we would die if we held this in our hand, and we would die if we were opening up this and learning. So in my mind, it's like, if any book is written by any American or any person that was in this country, you are potentially reading something that the slave master wrote, and you are getting in the mind of the slave master. I'm not one of those type of people at all that is like super pro Afro black and all that. I don't mind. I love my race. I love my country. I love all humans. Like, I'm a human being. I'm a human lover. I love spirits. I'm a spirit lover. But to be even more realistic and speak to the culture and black people in general, black Americans, people of color in America, black people, indigenous black people, aboriginal black people, slavery bloodline people, you need to look at the blessing that is embedded with a book. You need to look at the blessing that is embedded with the book, because once upon a time, your skin color would die if they was caught seen with this or learning what was inside of this. And this was knowledge was power. And now we understand that we have knowledge, and knowledge is just the potential to have power, and knowledge is power if it's executed upon and becomes wisdom over a certain amount of time. So I say that to say that y'all need to tap in. I don't know where your life is. I don't know what you got going on, but if you want change, like I've said plenty of times, the solution to your problems is stored somewhere. Someone wrote it down somewhere. The code is written. We have the fucking cheat codes. Are you willing to do the work? The world has done their part. The world wrote it down. You do your part. Open it up and use it. All right, y'all. I'm off the soapbox. Let's get to it. Let's get some money. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the bread. Let's get the money on. So where we at with it is the gold lender of Babylon. 50 pieces of gold never before had Rodin, spear maker of old Babylon, carried so much gold in his leather wallet. Happily down the king's highway from the palace of his most liberal majesty he strode. Cheerfully the gold clinked as the wallet at his head belt swayed with each step. The sweetest music he had ever heard. 50 pieces of gold, all his. He could hardly realize his good fortune. What power in those clinking discs? Those could purchase anything he wanted. A grand house, land, cattle, camels, horses, chariots, whatever he might desire. What use should he make of it? This evening, as he turned into a side street towards the home of his sister, he could think of nothing he would rather possess than those same glittering heavy pieces of gold his to keep. It was upon an evening some days later that a perplexed Rodin entered the shop of Mathan, the lender of gold and dealer in jewels and rare fabrics. Glancing neither to the right nor the left at the colorful articles artfully displayed, he passed through to the living quarters at the rear. Here he found the genteel Mathan lounging upon a rug, partaking a meal served by a black slave. I was just talking about slaves, and look, and they in Babylon, and slaves are black then. All right, I'm gonna stop. Oh my God, I be doing too much. I would counsel with thee, for I know not what to do. Rodin stood sturdily, feet apart, hairy breast exposed by a gaping front of his leather jacket. Mathan's narrow, swollen face smiled a friendly greeting. What indiscretions hast thou done that thou shouldst seek the lender of gold? Hast thou been unlucky at the gambling table, or hath thou some plump dame entangled thee? He said, or hath some plump dame entangled thee? Dang, you talking about a thick girl. For many years I have known thee, yet never before hast thou sought me to aid thee in thy troubles. No, not such as that. I seek no gold. Instead I crave thy wise advice. Hear, what this man doth say. No one comes to the lender of gold for advice. My ears must play me false. They listen true. Can this be so? Rodin the spear maker doth display more cunning than all the rest, for he comes to Methan not for gold, but for advice. Many men come to me for gold to pay for their follies, but as for advice, they want it not. Yet who is more able to advise than the lender of gold, to whom many men come in trouble? Thou shalt eat with me, Rodin, he continued. Thou shalt be my guest for the evening. Endo, he commanded of the black slave, draw up a rug for my friend Rodin, the spearmaker who comes for advice. He shall be mine honored guest. Bring him much food and get him for him my largest cup. Choose well of the best wine, that he may have satisfaction in his drinking. Now tell me what troubles thee. It is the king's gift. The king's gift. The king did make thee a gift. It gives thee trouble. What manner of gift? Because he was much pleased with the design I did submit to him for a new point on the spears of the royal guard, he did present me with 50 pieces of gold, and now I am much perplexed. I am beseeched each hour the sun doth travel across the sky by those who have shared it with me. That is natural. More men want gold than have it, and would wish one who comes by it easily to divide. But cannot you not say so? Say no? Is thy will not as strong as thy fist? Man, is thy will not as strong as thy fist? To many I can say no, yet sometimes it would be easier to say yes. Can one refuse to share with one's only sister to whom he is deeply devoted? Surely thy own sister would not wish to deprive thee of enjoying thy reward. But it is for the sake of Araman, her husband, whom she wishes to see a rich merchant. She does feel that he has never had a chance, and she beseeches me to loan to him this gold that he may become a prosperous merchant and repay me from his profits. My friend Ramesud, Mathan, 'tis a worthy subject thou bringest to discuss. Gold bringeth unto its possessor responsibility and change position with his fellow men. It bringeth fear lest he lose it or it be tricked away from him. It bringeth the feeling of power and ability to do good. Likewise, it bringeth opportunities whereby his very good intentions may bring him into difficulties. Ain't that the truth? Didst ever hear of the farmer of Nineveh who could understand the language of animals? I wot not, for 'tis not the kind of tale men like thee tell over the bronze caster's forge. I would tell it to thee, for thou shouldst know that to borrowing and lending there is more than the passing of gold from one hands of one to the hands of another. This farmer, who could understand what the animals said to each other, did linger in the farmyard each evening just to listen to their words. One evening he did hear the ox bemoaning to the ass the hardiness of his lot. I do labor pulling the paw from morning until night, no matter how hot the day or how tired my legs or how the bow doth chafe my neck, still must I work. But you are a creature of leisure. You're trapped with the colorful blanket and do nothing more than carry our master about where he wishes to go. When he goes nowhere, you do rest and eat the green grass all day. Now the ass, in spite of his vicious heels, was a goodly fellow and sympathized with the ox. My good friend, he replied, you do work very hard, and I will help ease your lot. Therefore will I tell you how you may have a day of rest. In the morning, when the slave comes to fetch you to plow, lie upon the ground and bellow much that he may say you are sick and cannot work. So the ox took the advice of the ass, and the next morning the slave returned to the farmer and told him the ox was sick and could not pull the plow. Then, said the farmer, hitch the ass to plow, for the plowing must go on. All that day the ass, who had only intended to help his friend, found himself compelled to do the ox task. When the night came and he was released from the plow, his heart was bitter, and his legs were weary, and his neck was sore where the bow had chafed it. The farmer lingered in the barnyard to listen. The ox began first. You, my good friend, because of your wise advice, I enjoyed a day of rest. And I, retorted the ass, am like many others simple-hearted who starts to help a friend and ends up by doing his task for him. Damn, boy. Hereafter, you draw your own plow, for I did hear the master tell the slave to send for the butcher were you sick again. I wish he would, for you are a lazy fellow. Therefore they spoke to each other no more. This ended their relationship. Canst thou tell the moral to this tale, Rodin? 'Tis a good tale, responded Rodin, but I see not the moral. I thought not that you would, but it is there and simple too. Just this, if thou desire to help thy friend, do so in a way that would not bring thy friend's burden upon thyself. Damn, boy. And y'all ain't reading this book? Did you hear what he just said? He said, I thought that you would. I thought not that you would, but it is there and simple too. Just this, if thou desire to help thy friend, do so in a way that would not bring thy friend's burden upon thyself. Do not do things and help people in ways that will put you in a worse situation than you started before you helped them. It's that simple. But if you got a big heart, you got to watch that, man. Shouts out to all my empaths, my water signs, all of that. I'm going to start doing more Zodiac-based stuff too, y'all. So look out for that. I had not thought of that. It is a wise moral. I wish not to assume the burdens of my sister's husband. But tell me, you lend to many, do not the borrowers repay? Marthun smiled the smile of one whose soul is rich with much experience. Could a loan be well made if the borrower cannot repay? Must not the lender be wise and judge carefully whether his gold can perform a useful purpose to the borrower and return to him once more, or whether it will be wasted by one unable to use it wisely and leave him without his treasure, and leave the borrower with a debt he cannot repay? I will show to thee the tokens in my token chest, and let them tell thee some of their stories. Into the room he brought a chest as long as his arm, covered with red pigskins and ornamented with bronze designs. He placed it upon the floor and squatted before it, both hands upon the lid. From each person to whom I lend, I do exact a token for my token chest to remain there until the loan is repaid. When they repay that, I give back, but if they never repay, it will always remind me of one who was not faithful to my confidence. The safest loans, my token box tells me, are to those whose possessions are more valued than the loan they desire. Wow. They own land or jewels or camels or other things which could be sold to repay the loan. Some of the tokens given to me are jewels of more value than the loan. Others are promises that if the loan be not repaid as agreed, they will deliver to me certain property in settlement. On loans like those, I am assured that my gold will be returned with the rental thereon, for the loan is based on property. In another class are those who have the capacity to earn. They are such as you, who labor or serve and are paid. They have income, and if they are honest and suffer no misfortune, I know that they also can repay the gold I loaned them and the rental to which I am entitled. Such loans are based on human effort. Others are those who have neither property nor assured earning capacity. Life is hard, and there will always be someone who cannot adjust themselves to it. Dang, he said, life is hard, and there will always be someone who cannot adjust themselves to it. Don't let that be y'all. Do not let that be you. Do not be the person that doesn't realize that life is hard and you cannot adjust with the hardships that come along with life, or you're self-sabotaging and put yourself in places that you should not be, or probably do need to be, just not learning a lesson when you get there. Alas, for the loans I make them, even though they be no longer than a pence, my token box may censure me in the years to come unless they be guaranteed by good friends of the borrower who know him honorable. Marthun released the clasp and opened the lid. Roden leaned forward angrily. At the top of the chest, a bronze neck piece lay upon a scarlet cloth. Marthun picked up the piece and patted it affectionately. Excuse me, y'all. This shall always remain in my token chest because the owner has passed on into the great darkness. I treasure his token and I treasure his memory, for he was my good friend. We traded together with much success until out of the east he brought a woman to wed, beautiful but not like our woman, a dazzling creature. He spent his gold lavishly to gratify her desires. He came to me in distress when his gold was gone. I counseled with him. I told him I would help him to once more master his own affairs. He swore by the sign of the great bull that he would, but it was not to be. In a quarrel, she thrust a knife into the heart he dared her to pierce. Damn. Got slimed out by a girl. And she questioned Roden. Yes, of course, this was hers. He picked up the scarlet cloth. In bitter remorse, she threw herself into the Euphrates. Dang. These two loans will never be repaid. The chest tells you, Roden, that humans in the throes of great emotions are not safe risk for gold lenders. Oh my God, this should be dropping. This book be blowing my mind, bro. I done read this book so many times. I done heard it on audiobook, and it still blows my mind with the jewels that it has in it. This thing said, the chest tells you, Roden, that humans in the throes of great emotions are not safe risk for the gold lender. And that was one of my problems, y'all. Like, I was not emotionally intelligent as I should have been, but I was also emotionally intelligent as I should have not been at that time, because everything happens for a reason. And it took me a while to understand the like heart to mind relation and connection with money and the logic behind money, especially being a water sign. Shouts out to all the water signs. If y'all haven't seen my old videos, I'm a Scorpio. But I'm an enlightened Scorpio, I believe. There's different levels to all zodiacs, highs and low vibrational. No sign is bad. We all can learn from everyone. Every sign can teach something, and you can learn from every sign. But yeah, like water signs have to really learn about their emotions. So that's really important. And humans in general, even if you're not a water sign, You cannot get rich if you don't know how to be logical. Here, now this is different. He reached for a ring carved of ox bone. This belongs to a farmer. I buy the rugs of his women. The locusts came and they had not food. I helped him, and when the new crop came, he repaid me. Later he came again, and excuse me, y'all. I be sounding like I'm tripping on words, but because the way this is written, it's written like the biblical times with the whole thou, all that. Some of these words are not written like in like how English is. So sometimes I reread them like, is it really saying that? But it's really written like that. So it really, oh man. They had long hair so fine and soft it would weave into rugs more beautiful than any ever seen in Babylon. He wanted a herd, but he had no money, so I did lend him gold to make the journey and bring back goats. Now his herd is begun, and next year I shall surprise the lords of Babylon with the most expensive rugs it has been their good fortune to buy. Soon I must return his ring. He doth insist on repaying promptly. Some borrowers do that, queried Roden. If they borrow for purposes that bring money back to them, I find it so. But if they borrow because of their indiscretions, I warn thee to be cautious if thou wouldst ever have thy gold back in the hand again. Man, I was just telling my kids about that. The difference between good debt and bad debt. If you're borrowing with the intent of creating a system, you're good. But if you're borrowing for leisure, for consumption purposes, for emotional purposes, then you're in a bad place. And that's what he just said. If they borrow for purposes that bring money back to them, I find it so. But if they borrow because of their indiscretions, I warn thee to be cautious if thou wouldest ever have thy gold back in hand again. Tell me about this, requested Roden, picking up a heavy gold bracelet inset with jewels and rare designs. The woman do appeal to my good friend, answered Mathan. I am still much younger than you, retorted Roden. I grant that, but this time thou doth suspicion romance where it is not. The owner of this is a fat and wrinkled and doth talk so much and say so little she drives me mad. Once they had much money and were my good customers, but ill times come upon them. She has a son of whom she would have made a merchant. So she came to me and borrowed gold that he might become a partner of a caravan owner who travels with his camels bartering in one city what he buys in another. This man proved a rascal, for he left the poor boy in a distant city without money, without friends, pulling out early while the youth slept. Perhaps when this youth has grown to manhood, he will repay. Until then, I get no rental for the loan, only much talk. But I do admit the jewels are worthy of the loan. Did this lady ask thy advice as to the wisdom of the loan? Quite otherwise. She had pictured to herself this son of Urs as a wealthy and powerful man of Babylon. To suggest the contrary was to infuriate her. A fair rebuke I had. I knew the risk for this inexperienced boy, but as she had offered security, I could not refuse her. This, continued Mathan, waving a bit of pack rope tied into a knot, belongs to Nabatur, the camel trader. When he will buy a herd larger than his funds, he brings to me this knot, and I lend to him according to his needs. He's a wise trader. I have confidence in his good judgment and can lend him freely. Many other merchants of Babylon have my confidence because of their honorable behavior. Their tokens came and go frequently in my token box. Good merchants are an asset to our city, and it profits me to aid them to keep trade moving, that Babylon be prosperous. Mathan picked out a beetle carved in turquoise and tossed it contemptuously on the floor. A bug from Egypt, the lad who owns it does not care whether I ever receive back my gold. When I reproach him, he replies, how can I repay when ill fate pursues me? You have plenty more. What can I do? The token is his father's, a worthy man of small means, who did pledge his land and herds to back his son's enterprises. The youth found success at first and then was overzealous to gain great wealth. His knowledge was immature. His enterprises collapsed. That's how it is. Take a little sip of agüita real quick, y'all. I was in that bit feeling a little bit parched. I was feeling a little parched. Youth is ambitious. Youth would take shortcuts to wealth and the desirable things for which it stands. Man, boy, let me read that one more time. Youth is ambitious. Youth would take shortcuts to wealth and the desirable things for which it stands. To secure wealth quickly, youth often borrows unwisely. Youth, never having had experience, cannot realize that hopeless death is like a deep pit into which one may descend quickly and where one may struggle vainly for many days. It is a pit of sorrow and regrets where the brightness of the sun is overcast and night is made unhappy by restless sleeping. Yet I do not discourage borrowing gold. I encourage it. I recommend it if it be for a wise purpose. I myself made my first real success as a merchant with borrowed gold. Yet what should the lender do in such a case? The youth is in despair and accomplishes nothing. He is discouraged. He makes no effort to repay. My heart turns against depriving the father of his land and cattle. You tell me much that I am interested to hear, ventured Roden, but I hear no answer to my question. Should I lend my 50 pieces of gold to my sister's husband? Dang, he ain't listening at all. They mean much to me. Thy sister is a sterling woman whom I do much esteem. Should her husband come to me and ask to borrow 50 pieces of gold, I should ask him for what purpose he would use it. If he answered that he desired to become a merchant like myself and deal in jewels and rich furnishings, I would say, what knowledge have you of the ways of trade? Do you know where you can buy at lower cost? Do you know where you can sell at a fair price? Could he say yes to these questions? No, he could not, Roden admitted. He has helped me much in making spears, and he has helped some in the shops. Then would I say to him that his purpose was not wise. Merchants must learn their trade. His ambition, though worthy, is not practical, and I would not lend him any gold. But supposing he could say, yes, I have helped merchants much. I know how to travel to Smyrna and to buy at low cost the rugs the housewives weave. I also know many of the rich people of Babylon to whom I can sell these at a large profit. Then I would say, your purpose is wise and your ambition honorable. I shall be glad to lend you the 50 pieces of gold if you can give me security that they will be returned. But would he say, I have no security other than that I am an honored man and will pay you well for the loan? Then would I reply, I treasure much each piece of gold. Were the robbers to take it from you as you journeyed to Smyrna, or take the rugs from you as you return, then you would have no means of repaying me, and my gold would be gone. Gold, you see, Roden, is the merchandise of the lender of money. It is easy to lend. If it is lent unwisely, then it's difficult to get back. The wise lender wishes not to risk of the undertaking, but to guarantee of safe repayment. 'Tis well, he continued, to assist those that are in trouble. 'Tis well to help those upon whom fate has laid a heavy hand. 'Tis well to help those who are starting they may progress and become valuable citizens. But help must be given wisely, lest, like the farmer's ass, in our desire to help, we but take upon ourselves the burden that belongs to another. And boy, that is a lesson that I learned way too late, y'all. That is a lesson that I learned way too late. And I know I keep harping on that, and maybe it's like, it's getting a little personal, but you know, this way y'all in the bed. Y'all in the bed with your boy. So like, you know what I mean? We getting personal. I don't even care. But like, that's so crazy. Like, that's why I've been ducked off, to really be honest, bro. I've been ducked off because I think I said this in another video. That's a lesson. That's a sign from the universe. It's telling me to be wise with who I give to, be cautious of who I serve and who I lend, and making sure my cup is filled up. And every so often I have to do that. And I think I was literally just talking about this in a video last night. And it was titled, go tap in. Y'all remember to like, subscribe, follow as well. But go tap into that video. I believe it's tired caring about who will grow with you is holding you back. And it's like trying to help people and helping those people in a way where you help them so much that it actually hurts you. Like where you help a person so much that helping them hurts you. And that's not good. Because if one motherfucker in the ocean and you jump in that bit, you don't know how to swim, then y'all both just two drowning that motherfucker. So oh my God, my bad, y'all. Why'd I have to say it like that? Because that's real. That's real. That's why I said it like that. Because that's really real, bro. And it's crazy. Like, I think that's just like the universe is telling me, like, I'm in the right path. I'm doing exactly what I need to do. Like, I'm ducked off for a reason. And I have to be able to be good with being ducked off in the cut, working on myself and serving people in a way that, you know, it doesn't hurt what I have going on, because I'm extending myself. Because I'm not naive. I'm not dumb. I'm not a pushover by far. I feel like because I am so strong, I never see like the capacity to where I feel like I'm doing too much for somebody because I'm so strong and I can take on so much. So like something that might burden somebody else would be like just a nothing to me, like be like a little dust on the shoulder, you know what I'm saying? Like Hov say, you got to brush it off type shit. So, but that still doesn't mean that it's not affecting me. But yeah, let's get back to the reading. I think we almost to the end, y'all. So hold on. But man, that's deep. Again, I wonder from thy question, Rodin, but hear my answer. Keep thy 50 pieces of gold. What thy labor earns for thee and what is given thee for reward is thine own, and no man can put an obligation upon thee to part with it, unless it do be thy wish. 5. It wouldn't lend it to so that it may earn thee more gold, then lend with caution and in many places. I like not idle gold, even less I like too much of risk. How many years hast thou labored as a spearmaker? Fully 3. How much besides the king's gift hast saved? 3 gold pieces. Each year that thou hast labored, thou hast denied thyself good things to save from thine earnings 1 piece of gold. 'Tis as you say. Then the mightiest save in 50 years of labor 50 pieces of gold by thy self-denial. Self-denial, boy. Self-gratification, boy. Delayed gratification. A lifetime of labor it would be. Think if thou, sister, would wish to jeopardize the savings of 50 years of labor over the bronze meddling pot that her husband might experiment on being a merchant? Not if I spoke in your words. Then go to her and say, 3 years I have labored each day except fast days, from morning until night, and I have denied myself many things that my heart crave. For each year of labor and self-denial I have to show 1 piece of gold. Thou art my favorite sister, and I wish that thy husband may engage in business in which he will prosper greatly. If he will submit to me a plan that seems wise and possible, my friend Mathan, then will I gladly lend to him my savings of an entire year that he may have an opportunity to prove that he can succeed. Do that, I say, and if he has within him the soul to succeed, he can prove it. If he fails, he will not owe thee more than he can hope some day to repay. I am a gold lender because I own more gold than I can use in my own trade. I desire my surplus gold to labor for others and thereby earn more gold. I do not wish to take risk of losing my gold, for I have labored much and I deny myself much to secure it. Therefore, I will no longer lend any of it where I am not confident that it is safe and will be facts. Like he's treating this shit like it's ownership. Returned to me. Neither will I lend it where I am not convinced that its earnings it will be promptly paid to me. I have told to thee, Rodin, a few of the secrets of my token chest. From them you may understand the weakness of men and their eagerness to borrow that which they have no certain means to repay. From this you can see how often their high hopes of great earnings they could make if they but had gold are but false hopes they have not the ability or training to fulfill. Thou, Rodin, now have gold which thou shouldst put to earning more gold for thee. Thou art about to become even as I, a gold lender. If thou dost safely preserve thy treasure, it will produce liberal earnings for thee and be a rich source of pleasure and profit during all thy days. But if thou dost let it escape from thee, it will be a source of constant sorrow and regret as long as thy memory doth last. Ain't that the truth? What desirest thou most of this gold in thy wallet? To keep it safe? Wisely spoken, replied Mathan approvingly. Thy first desire is for safety. Thinkest thou that in the custody of thy sister's husband it would be truly safe from possible loss? I fear not, for he is not wise in guarding gold. Then be not swayed by foolish sentiments of obligation to trust thy treasures to any person. Damn, boy. If thou wouldest help thy family or thy friends, find other ways than risking the loss of thy treasure. Forget not that gold slippeth away in unexpected ways from those unskilled in guarding it. As well waste thy treasure in extravagance as let others lose it for thee. What next after safety dost thou desire of this treasure of thine? To make more, that it earn more gold. Fact, see? That's what it is. Just keep it safe, save it, and make it, invest it, and make more. That's the play, y'all. Again, thou speakest wisdom. It should be made to earn and grow larger. Gold wisely lent may even double itself with its earning before a man like you groweth old. If you risk losing it, you risk losing all that it would earn as well. Therefore, be not swayed by fantastic plans of impractical men who think they see ways to force thy gold to make earnings unusually large. Such plans are creations of dreamers unskilled in the safe and dependable laws of trade. Be conservative in what thou expect to earn, that thou mayst keepeth and enjoy thy treasure. To hire it out with a promise of unserious returns is to invite loss. I just thought about something. I just thought this just inspired me to want to write something for one of these books that I'm writing. Let me marinate on this for a second, y'all. Bear with me. What he said? Let go, God, let me be double self. If you risk losing, you risk losing all of the learning. Where my phone at? I think I got it. 1 second, y'all. Y'all in the bed, so we unconventional in this motherfucker. Y'all in the bed, goddamn. What he said? Trying to find a motivation because something in here inspired me, but it's in my own words, in my mind. So if you risk losing it, you risk losing all of it. All right. It's a whole bunch of chicken scratch, but I'll look at it again and come up with exactly what I want it to be. Okay. Thus, experience seek to associate themselves with men and enterprises whose success is established, that thy treasure may earn liberally under their skillful use and be guarded safely by their wisdom and experience. Thus mayst thou avoid the misfortunes that follow most of the sons of men to whom the gods see fit to entrust gold. When Rodan would thank him for his wise advice, he would not listen, saying, the king's gift shall teach thee much wisdom. If wouldst keep thy 50 pieces of gold, thou must be discreet indeed. Many uses will tempt thee. Much advice will be spoken to thee. Numerous opportunities to make large profits will be offered thee. The stories from my token box should warn thee. Before thou let any piece of gold leave thy pouch, to be sure that thou hast a safe way to pull it back again. Should my further advice appeal to thee, return again, it is gladly given. Ere thou goest, read this which I would have carved beneath the lid of my token box. It applies equally to the borrower and the lender. Better a little caution than a great regret. Whew. He said, better a little caution than a great regret. There we go, y'all. That was chapter number 6, and we got ¿Cuánto más? And we got a couple more. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I didn't realize it was 11 chapters in this book. Yeah, but I think the next one's kind of shorter because it's only how many more pages? Yeah, the next ones are short. Some of them be longer than the other ones. I know I'm doing this the mad long way. Y'all could have just went to the front and did the math to count. Okay. Well, 50 more pages, más o menos. Okay. But yes, y'all, nothing but jewels, dropping jewels. We almost at 45 minutes, I think. So I ain't going to talk too much. I already talked a lot in the beginning, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Remember what I said earlier, man. Don't let it be a life and death situation to where you have to go search and look for the answers and take advantage of the answers that the world have left behind, the clues that the successful people have left behind in these wonderful, life-changing, and powerful books here. Do not let it, man. But remember to stay well, y'all. Be conscious and write your world into existence. Love.